Welcome into SWOSUathletics.com. I'm John Liddle, sitting down with Kenneth Martey as we get ready to go into Week 8 of the football season. SWOSU at 4-3 takes their talents out to Shawnee to take on Oklahoma Baptist. And Kenneth, thanks so much for your time, man. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. It's great to see you get on the field and really produce this last week. I mean, over 150 yards of total offense. What do you think was working well for you this past week?
It wasn't, so much what I was doing. It was just definitely, it was great to get back on the field and feeling healthy. The guys up front made everything happen, and I'm just happy the coaches, put their trust in me to make some plays.
Well, up front, there have been a couple lost starters here the last couple of weeks. You had to play with a new center and a new left guard, but they've been keeping it together and really keeping Mark from getting dirty and keeping the running backs, letting them run as well. What have you seen from this offensive line so far?
They're a tight group. They work hard. Coach Iskey's on those boys. They're a real family, as we are as an offense. And so, we kind of have that. One guy goes down, the next guy, comes up and picks up the production. And so, as a unit, they're great. We communicate pretty well, and that's what's really contributed to our success up front.
Well, you mentioned it. You had the ankle injury, missed a couple games because of it, but you're back now. What's the key for you as far as that ankle goes, when it's ready to go, and play in a game versus when it's not?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing for me is just staying focused and staying in the training room and doing all the little things I have to do to, keep it feeling good and feeling ready to go. I tape it, I brace it, I do all that stuff for it. So I'm gonna be good to go. God willing. I don't have any other slip ups with that, but I'm feeling good and I'm ready to go for the rest of the games we got.
What do you think your strengths as a runner are?
I like to say I'm pretty balanced. I feel like I can do it all. I mean, as far as all the backs, we block, we catch, we run. Our coach, preaches a lot about what do you do when you don't have the ball in your hands, and we take a lot of pride in that. The blocking and the communicating with the linemen and seeing who's coming as far as a blitz standpoint comes from. So I feel like I'm a balanced back. I feel like I can do it all on the field.
And this season, it's just been different guys stepping up in different games. This last week, I mean, it was your turn, but then also behind you was Keaton's turn as well. Oh, man, how about that? That's got to feel good, though. I mean, I know, all you guys work so hard. I mean, the 4 guys that are active, it's great to see all you guys have success on the same day.
It's great. It's great. I mean, because Keaton works hard, and we're happy he was finally able to get his opportunity and show what he can do, because he's got some talent. Like I said, he works hard, and so it was great to see that. I mean, as a unit, we're pretty close, and we all like to get the ball. We all like to be in the game. We got a competitive spirit back there, and whoever's up just tries to do the most.
Well, you're one of the Menlo College guys that came out to Southwestern, basically because your college folded the football program there at Menlo. And it's great to have you here, but how does this start and the success that you're having offensively especially, how does that help you feel more, at home here in Weatherford?
I felt at home, the first couple of weeks I got here. A lot of the guys, a couple of the first guys I met, they really, brought us in and made us feel like a family. Knowing Coach Garfield previously, that helped a lot. And then getting into the offense, getting into the groove of things, doing the 7-on-7 in the summer, it wasn't hard to, catch our groove. And I think I speak for all the guys when I say, we found it as a smooth transition.
Well, Oklahoma Baptist this week, they're a team that runs, they list a 3-man front, a 3-4 defense. You guys have pretty much, at this point in the season, seen it all. I know for the offensive line, things can change up a lot when you see an odd man front versus an even man front. How does it change for a running back?
Definitely. I mean, holes move over a little bit, assignments change a little bit, but it all comes down to the film study the week leading up to, and I speak for all the backs when I say that helps a lot. Just knowing what to expect, knowing what you're going to see. Not only from a running standpoint, but from pass protection as well.
Well, we talked early in the week, and you haven't gone into your deep film study on, or at least not all of it, that you're going to do on Oklahoma Baptist. So what do you look for as you go into a week? Specifically for you, what works? What are you looking for in order to be most successful on Saturday?
A lot of things. starting with the front seven, what the D linemen like to do, their tendencies, how they're slanted, if they're, you know, if you think they might stunt, thinking about force players and if they might bring pressure from backside. There's a lot of things that go into it. I would say the one thing I probably don't look at too much that I need to work on is probably the secondary. I don't tend to look at them too much, but it definitely helps looking at the whole defense, looking how they swarm as a unit, just seeing how they get to the ball.
Well, and anytime you got a new school coming into the league, and I know you haven't been around the league until this year, but when you got a new school coming into the league, people start picking off, oh, that's easy fodder. You know, that game in the middle of the season, there's no question we should win that one. And maybe you guys are a little bit of a favorite in this one, but at the same time, this team, this Oklahoma Baptist team, has proven that they compete, they can win ball games. How much does that make you stand up and take notice?
I mean, definitely. That's a great point you bring up because coming up to this week, you could have probably said the same thing about the opponent we played, but we attack every week as you know, their opponent that can beat us, because on any Saturday your opponent can. And so, you know, we approach it as any other week. We attack the film, we attack the weight room, we attack the practice field, and you just got to win the week throughout Monday through Thursday through Friday, and getting all your preparation down. So, you know, when it comes to Saturday, you're ready to go, no mental mistakes, and you're just ready to play ball.
Well, Kenneth Martey, running back for the Southwestern Bulldogs. Thanks for your time, man.
I appreciate it,
sir.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Here with George Woods, Southwestern Oklahoma State defensive tackle here on SWOSUathletics.com, as SWOSU is now 4-3 on the year, preparing to take on Oklahoma Baptist. And George, you got to pick up your first sack last week against Southern Nazarene. You know, I know they're just numbers, but at the same time, have you been kind of waiting to pick up that first hit on the quarterback this year?
Yeah, I really have. I mean, a lot of things go into getting a sack, you know, our defensive pressure, what we're running. But definitely getting the first official stat in the column is really good. It's a confidence booster.
Well, and the last couple weeks have to be a big confidence booster for the team. You know, you're coming out of a couple of tough losses on the road. Defense played really well there, but, you know, the team, I mean, it's an empty feeling because the team's not working together as a whole, but you come back home and you work together as a unit, offense, defense, special teams, all of it together. What's the feeling around the team going into this week?
Going into this week, we're just ready to, I mean, this is the beginning of the week, so we haven't gotten all of our preparation in, but we've gotten our film since Sunday, so we've been watching film since Sunday about OBU and seeing what they run. They like to run a lot of power and a lot of read power. So as a defense, we understand we have to limit their explosive plays. Like, we have to make them earn their yardage. And if we make them earn their yardage, we can shut them down.
Well, and the run game is what they have lived off of this year. Yeah. You know, but they've hit, like you say, some big plays in the run. You know, what did you learn from, you know, kind of looking at last week's film against Northwestern that you have to worry about this week?
Playing fast and reading our keys. We try not to. The defensive mindset is you want to be able to play as fast as possible. So you want to be able to read your keys. Anything that develops, you have to develop it on the run, you know, reading your keys wise. So we don't want to overthink anything, but we want to play assignment football. We want to play fast.
Absolutely. Well, you stepped in here as a transfer and stepped right into a starter and major rotation player for Southwestern Oklahoma State. It's your first year in this defense. How does it vary, or how is it similar from other defenses you've played at other collegiate stops?
I've usually played a 3-4, that true nose guard, typically. I mean, there's not too much variation here as far as the four-man front. The secondary is a lot different than anything I've played in before, but I don't worry too much about that. Those guys handle all that. I'm just worried about, you know, saying the 5 guys in front of me, the offensive linemen. But I mean, it's pretty repetitive as far as D-line. Our reads are a little different, but it's nothing that couldn't be overcome in the first couple of days, first couple weeks of practice.
What's your feeling about Coach Gibson? I know he's a guy that's going to challenge you and, you know, just wants you to do your 111th. But how have you guys gotten along as you've come in here? Me and
Coach Gibson? Coach Gibson's a really cool guy. I like Coach Gibson. He's the one that got me to come up here, so I have a lot of respect for him as a coordinator and as a man. So he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about your past, if you will. I know you were at Abilene Christian, but just kind of go through it from high school to here. How are you here now at Southwestern?
Okay, so as being a recruit in high school my senior year. I didn't understand a lot of things, so I committed to it in school, and then they got a completely new coaching staff. So I decommitted from that school, and by the time that I actually did decommit, it was pretty late in the recruiting process. Signing day was a couple weeks away. And then Abilene Christian, I had a friend who was going to Abilene Christian. He was like, "Hey man, I can totally give them your info and your highlights and all that." I was like, "Okay." But then like the next couple of days, they called me, they brought me on a recruiting trip, and I really liked it. I was really big into my faith. And it was a good atmosphere to be a football player and a Christian. So that's why I ended up going to ACU. But my sophomore year, I had a lot of different things go on back home. So I had to go home to figure things out and get things on track home first. Now, after being here at SWOSU, it was really just a blessing. Like the day after, because I haven't played in 2 years. I haven't been on the field in 2 years. So the day after I get my phone was off for like a week or two. And the next day I get my phone on, Coach Gibson called me, "Hey man, what's going on?" You know what I'm saying? And I was like, "Hey, not much, just thinking about planning for the future." And he's like, "Well, I need you up here," and things kind of took off from there, and so I'm here now. So, but it's definitely been a blessing.
Excellent. Well, and you've got this year and another year of eligibility, correct?
Correct.
So, I know that. Where do you feel like, I guess, I'm not tearing you down or anything like that, but where do you feel like you're rusty? Where do you feel like you can improve after being off for 2 years, or through 6 games, now 7 games? Are you fully back into the swing of things?
No, honestly, not really. I mean, those 2 years definitely, just as far as reading things goes, took a little bit of the instinct of being able to read, because it's been a while. And this is college, college offenses, they do everything quick, so getting back into the groove. Fall camp definitely helped a lot with my reads, but that's mainly it, just getting back in the groove. But that's most of where I've been rusty up to this point.
I guess the follow-up would be, there's, I know there are a few key senior pieces on this team, but at the same time, I mean, where do you feel you can be for the next 4 or 5 games this year, and then beyond that? How excited are you about your potential in this defense?
I'm actually really excited because we'll have our big guy back. Falls will be back, so I'll be able to slide out a little bit to play the 3-tech.
You call him the big guy?
He's the big guy. he's got me by a little bit away. He's got me by like 20, 30 pounds or something like that. But he's the true nose guard, for our defense. And I mean, he's a cornerstone player last year as a redshirt freshman. So having him back in the lineup and having all the other guys, we're gonna ball out for the next couple of years as a defensive line, as a unit.
I agree. Our former, nose guard / 3 technique, Devin Benton, we had a cut of him saying we're going to ball out. So now we'll just pull out George Wood saying we're going to ball out for the next couple of years, and now we're good with that. Yeah. George, thanks so much for your time, man. We appreciate it. Hey, good luck this week against Oklahoma Baptist.
Appreciate it.
Hope you guys do great. Yeah, Southwestern Oklahoma State takes on Oklahoma Baptist this week on Saturday. Of course, it's a noon start time, so an early kick. Make sure you get out to Shawnee. If you can't make it, listen on the radio. We've got an 11 o'clock pregame show on 95.5 The Coyote. And then that kickoff at noon. John Liddle for George Woods. Also thanks to Kenneth Martey for joining us on SWOSUathletics.com.